Christmas last year, which I'm super happy about. I feel like a game like this would be perfect for me. You guys want to see my vinyl collection? You guys want to see my vinyl collection? You guys want to see my vinyl collection? You guys want to see my vinyl collection?
You guys
right?
more like,
come on,
have you guys ever heard of Fallout Boy?
Supposed to touch stones on the record. Not looking at my vinyl collection is diabolical. Vinyl is where it's at. I have so many good albums on vinyl. Look at my YouTube right? Like, come on, you guys want to put a vinyl collection to take stones on the record. Not looking at my vinyl collection.
There's something about the concept of vinyl as a medium of music and how it works that fascinates me. So many components and properties of physics all working together beautifully to produce any given sound, whether that be speech, music, or anything else. Since last year, I've been wanting to start collecting vinyl records for collection's sake and to, show them off. However, I did end up getting an actual record player for Christmas last year, which I'm honestly really happy about. And I know ones with the built-in speakers are usually kind of lackluster in terms of sound quality, but if I'll be honest, I don't really notice that big of a difference between this and digital. Plus, this fits really well in my room. It looks great. But at the same time, I'm glad I didn't cheap out on one of those suitcase record players the Crosley Cruiser. I actually did a bit of research before I chose what record player I wanted to get, and I pretty quickly found out that the suitcase record players really aren't the best in terms of sound quality and even preserving your records. But yeah, this video is mostly just for me to show off the well over $300 I spent collecting vinyl records for the past several months. Bro, I don't know why these cost so much. But I would like to preface this right now before showing off my collection. I am terrible at analyzing and describing music. 99% of the time when I want to find the meaning of a song, I just go to genius.com instead of deciphering the lyrics myself. And I'm not gonna try to go over the meaning of every single song I go over, because there's a huge chance I'll misinterpret the hell out of it and get totally fried in the comments. Anyway, the first two albums I got were Millionth by Coldplay and Hail to the Thief from Radiohead. I got both of these from a local record store I went to right after Christmas. And yeah, I was just looking for albums from, bands I've heard of that had cool looking album covers like these. For Millionth, I find a lot of it to be really catchy, upbeat, and even optimistic in a way. I also like how the middle of a record is a spiral, and then when you put it on the record, it does that funny spiral thing effect when you spin it. I think that's cool and clever. The album cover in general is just sick as well, with the colors splashing everywhere, aided by the graffiti all over it. I think it's, pretty representative of what the album's, actually about. If I had to choose, my favorite song on here would probably be Paradise. It's catchy as hell, and this is really stupid, but kind of sparks some sense of nostalgia, because I swear I've heard it in a Minecraft parody before a really long time ago. And next up, Hail to the Thief. Alright, I'm gonna be honest, this album isn't really for me. Quite a few of the songs have a lot of repeating lyrics, which I find to get, kind of repetitive and even a bit annoying. I really dig the album cover though. I like the idea of them just looking at a bunch of advertisements and only using the most impactful words from them in this whole collage that's supposed to represent a roadmap of Hollywood. And I agree on how unsettling that makes it. Entirely out of context, all the words on here make it seem more negative than anything. How else would you immediately react when you hear the words poor, danger, end, or fear? A lot of advertising is meant to have as big of an emotional impact as possible, and I think this album cover alone illustrates that perfectly. So much better than Hail to the Thief. The record I have for OK Computer is the remaster from 2017 for the album's 20th anniversary. I think it's supposed to include like 3 songs that weren't, released in the original album. I obviously heard about this album a lot before, but the first time I, actually listened to it in full was while driving to meet family for Thanksgiving last year. I really enjoyed it. I later found out they were selling it on vinyl on Bandcamp, and then later on, I decided to cough up $60 to get it. It ended up arriving in like mid-January, and I was happy. This whole album is like really good at making you feel. A great example, for me at least, is No Surprises. It's so hard to describe that like specific feeling it gives you. It's almost this, bittersweet sense of nostalgia. Like the music itself sounds so peaceful and a bit like daydreamy, with like the simple melody of the guitar and the xylophone that goes along with it, all while the lyrics is like so depressing and pessimistic. It's such a beautiful contrast between tone and subject. And it's the only album I have that uses 3 discs. Like, because of that alone, it's really fun to just flip through the cover to, look at all the extra art that was made for it. Next up is Hawaii Part 2 by Technically Tally Hall. I don't know if I should refer to the artist as like Tally Hall or just Miracle Musical. Yeah, this is another one where I just bought it after enjoying it on streaming. I really like how all over the place this album is. Like, I don't think there's any other album out there that has a song that's entirely in Japanese, a chiptune hip-hop song out of nowhere, and a song where half of it is in reverse. The amount of sheer variety seen in this album is kind of what makes it special for me, because again, I've seen no other album as abstract as this. This is the second studio album from La Dispute, Wildlife. It's supposed to describe experiences the band had in their hometown over in Michigan, mainly focusing on personal loss and despair. This entire album feels so personal and raw. It also comes with this little booklet for the lyrics. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be included with the CD copies, and they were supposed to be something different for vinyl, but I still like it. It's a nice touch mixing the handwriting with, printed text. Pretty hard to follow along at times though. Ah, crap. A minor complaint I have over this is that the audio quality is kind of muddy. It doesn't really sound the best. It's kind of muffled too. I mean, I'm not sure if it's just me though. Cover also feels really cheap because it's made out of recyclable material, and as a result it feels just like printer paper. But my favorite song in this album would probably be King Park. The entire song is based off a true drive-by shooting in Michigan. This entire thing does a fantastic job at describing the feelings people from all sorts of perspectives have during a crime scene like this. And the build-up at the end, it's just masterful. How the suspense tension in the music gets louder and louder while the situation the singer's describing escalates more and more is nothing short of insane. The whole thing is so cathartic. It's beautiful. Now we have this goober of an album, or not an album. Now we have this goober of a record. I'm not sure how many people know about this, the song's history, but it was pretty much a lost media on the internet until late last year. All the way back in 2007 was when somebody first asked where the song came from and who made it. It would then slowly spread from there as more and more people and even record labels would upload it to YouTube and other sites, which then led to a subreddit being created, r/the mysterious song, to help organize the whole search. And then I guess it kind of snowballed from there in terms of general awareness until it would finally be found in early November of late last year. The original band was also contacted about the song as well, which led to them re-releasing the song on vinyl and it being in my hands right now. And honestly, it's kind of what you would expect from a rock song in the 80s. I mean, it definitely screams 80s in my opinion. It's catchy, upbeat, it's an absolute earworm. It's a great listen in general. It also has another song on the other side, Heart in Danger, that also slaps. It's also nice to just have like this piece of internet history to begin with. And, like, just that alone is like really cool in my opinion. This is the part where I fanboy over Friday Pilots Club for the next 5 minutes. I originally found out about Friday Pilots Club in like 2023 while riding the Spotify algorithm and doing my math homework and first hearing For the Wicked. I really enjoyed the song and decided to, check out some more of their music. And like, apparently, this band never misses. And like, I still have a lot of their songs saved on my liked playlist. And this right here is actually their debut album, Nowhere. I think like this band started out like around 2017ish, and like everything else before this album were just EPs or singles. This is probably one of the only albums where I actually like every single song in it. Like the entire album is just banger after banger. I can tell a lot of emotion was put into the vocals as well. And like a few months after they dropped this banger of an album, they released like a whole documentary about the whole album. It's like a bit over 20 minutes long. It goes over, their thought process and why they made certain creative choices in the album, including the title of the album itself, Nowhere. It's a really good watch. I'll have it up in that corner thing or whatever. Minor complaint though, can you read this? The lyric sheet is like impossible to read. Like the text is like really small and like I don't think black contrasts too well with red. Only way I'll be able to read this is if I, shine a flashlight on it. This, as the title suggests, is a collection of pretty much every single or EP they've released over the years. It goes all the way from End of It in 2017 to Pushing Daisies in 2023. It's really fun and interesting seeing how the band's sound has changed over the years. Like, I suck at describing how music sounds, but like, you can definitely notice it. The end of the record also includes a bonus song that wasn't released anywhere else, and when I said that this band never misses, I mean it. It's yet another banger from this band. Now, if you've watched both of my videos relating to Rec Room, you probably have a decent idea on what my favorite song in this album is. Bad as hell, Miss Supernova. No words can describe how perfect this song is in my opinion. Like, I found that what this song is about applies to me a lot, which is why I used it in the outro to Best Way to Kill a Game. And the general sound of the song is so beautiful too. Like, the whole thing sounds kind of mystical or majestic in a way, especially during the second verse. It then builds up to the second chorus, the bridge, and then the final chorus with the vocals somewhat blending in with, the music. And I think it's really cool how they use outer space as an analogy to what this song is describing. The whole song's about the feelings and stress you get when you need to part ways with someone or something, even if you don't actually want to. And though they relate it to, as the title suggests, a supernova. It's represented as this complex amalgamation of emotions when you're faced with a decision like that, or as a beautiful thing when things are finally over with. According to Genius, I don't know. Let's go, another Tally Hall album. Yeah, I got this off of Bandcamp. When I bought this specific record, there was only 4 left in stock. So I can pretty confidently say that I managed to get one of the last ones of this specific record. They're probably gonna restock sometime in the future though, I don't know. This whole album feels like some giant love letter to the physical museum that this album is named after. You can tell from both the music and the album cover too. It's so detailed and perfectly reflects the, carnival or, museum type thing. I love the use of the hatching as the shading as well. I think it adds a lot of character to the whole thing and makes it feel, more hand-drawn. Another goober of an EP. This User X, okay, I read online somewhere that you only say it as just user, but I don't care, I'm calling it User X. So this whole thing is a project by Matt Mason, and Roswell Fitzroy. It released on March 12th, 2021. Yeah, the artist is just branded as User X, similar to Miracle Musical and Hawaii Part 2. It's a really nice mix between like some kind of rock and hip hop. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, it says it's rock online, but honestly it doesn't sound like rock at all. I also find it to be oddly relaxing. It's probably because it's hip-hop, but still. My favorite song out of this would probably be Headsick. Like, it's arguably the most, like, cathartic out of the album, like, especially near the end. Like, it's insane. Now we have Oh the Ocean by the Wombats. I think this is their 7th album they released. And, like, this only released a few months ago on, like, Valentine's Day of this year. First off, this translucent blue is beautiful. It didn't look nearly as good as, you know, on the preview photo. But, like, now that I have it in my hands, like, it looks a lot better than I expected. This is also, like, a really good pressing of the album. It's very, like, high quality and clear. And this isn't, like, directly related to the album, but I enjoyed watching all their music videos for each song. I like how each one has their own, like, thing going for it, like, makes them very distinguishable and unique from one another, which I like. And finally, my most recent addition to my collection, Brave Faces Etc. by Spanish Love Songs. These aren't Spanish love songs, by the way. Yeah, Brave Faces Everyone is their 3rd studio album. However, this is Brave Faces Etc., which is pretty much a reimagining of the entire album from the ground up. The original was released in February of 2020, while this one was released around 2 years later. And I'm not gonna lie, I did not know it included both versions of the album. I thought it only included the reimagined version, but there's 2 discs here for a reason. This is the exact type of music that makes me ascend every time I hear it. Every song in both versions are full of like emotion and catharsis. The reimagined version is like a lot quieter and relaxed, but like I do think it's a lot more varied in terms of sound than the original. Oh, and also, the record looks absolutely sick. Like, for no reason at all, I love this, like, specific shade of teal or, like, green. Like, it looks super vibrant and, like, stands out a lot in my opinion. Especially how they included different shades of the same color. I think it looks really cool. You know, I've always been oddly fascinated by like retro or just, you know, older tech in general. There's something about how interactive it feels. I know that's a vague as hell adjective, but like you're physically interacting with its different components and functions rather than just, you know, tapping on a screen. Like I find a lot of older tech to just be more like visually appealing compared to, I don't know, your Galaxy S whatever that's dead ass just a rectangle. I feel like a great example would be some of the older Polaroid cameras, especially with how, you know, unique the shape is and like that iconic band of colors going through it. Hell, I even got this Lego set of the One Step SX70. I think that's what it is, and like I'm so glad I got it. I love this. The same can be said for vinyl as well. Like, bro, it spins. What more could you ask for? You can literally see the music as well. I mean, not really, but like it's right there. Like the whole process of like taking a record out of its sleeve, dropping it, cracking it, and then like carefully placing it on the turntable and like carefully lifting the tone arm up and then placing it on. That feels so much more interactive than just opening a streaming service on your phone and just tapping on a song. It's also nice to actually own what you listen to than fully relying on a streaming service where what you listen to can be removed at any given time without warning. But besides all of that, I still think modern tech has its place when it comes to music. Like, I find streaming services to be a really good way of discovering music, especially from smaller artists. Like, without them, I wouldn't have found out about, you know, Friday Pilots Club or La Dispute or Spanish Love Songs or so many others that haven't made their way to a, you know, physical store near me. And if I end up really liking a song or an album, I can just directly support the artist by buying it on Bandcamp or see if they're selling a physical copy of it. But at the same time, yeah, streaming services aren't really a natural way to discover music since you're just eating what an algorithm is, you know, feeding you without choosing what you want to eat yourself. Like, even Bandcamp is a great way to, find music since it's practically a digital record store. It definitely feels a lot better to just waltz into a record store and, choose an album that has a cool looking album cover and seeing if you like it or not. If you don't, it's still nice to have for the sake of collection. Hail to the Thief is far from my favorite album, but it's still great to have, to just display in your collection. And that's something you don't really get when you have this over-engineered, privacy-invading rectangle that feels like its main purpose was to keep you glued to it for as long as humanly possible.
What is everything? Like anything.
What? How can you tell the only thing I listen to is rock?